Well, one thing while I'm convalescing here, I've been able to watch a lot of TV, and so sometimes I think it's useful, at least for me, to kind of immerse myself almost to the point of saturation in watching CNBC and Worldwide Exchange. Sometimes, kind of watching it around the clock. And today was very interesting, so I'm going to make two videos for sure. But of course, the U.S. debt being downgraded is a huge story. But first off, I kind of surprised that Kramer is talking about a global food shortage. And I thought, whoa, that's kind of my area of interest. And subscribers, I don't try to be arrogant on this stuff. It's just that, it's been my passion to figure this stuff out for like 30 years. And so, my first video on economics, April 18th, 2011. The U.S. being downgraded today is a huge story, so I'm going to make a video on that real quick after I take a shower before I go to the gym. But I've been convalescing, so I've been watching a lot of CNBC and, immersing myself in the financial markets so I know what's going on with like the 10-year bond, the 30-year bond, the Deutsche bond, what's going on with Greek interest rates on the 10-year. It's amazing. I think they're 20%. What's going on with Spanish interest rates, what's happening in Ireland. So a lot of things. But here I was watching CNBC, Kramer. Sometimes he's a little much for me. But Kramer, is having some useful stuff. He's talking about global food shortages. And my first video in 2007 talked about that and getting rid of dollars and exchanging it for gold and silver and food and things that are real, that are not fiat. And so it's kind of interesting that Kramer's, at least he brought it up. He didn't talk about it too much. But global food shortage, it has started, and it will turn into a famine within about the next 3 years or so. So one book I've had for a long time, How to Survive Through a Famine, and interesting books. I have a bunch of books on that kind of stuff. I went to an estate sale. A friend told me about an estate sale and picked up H.G. Wells' The Outline of History. I'm not going to have time to read the whole thing, but very interesting because purportedly a brilliant mind covering all the history. So I'm going to cover the high points on that, read it, digest it. But there's not enough time pre-collapse to read all the things you want to do. So it's, as I say many times, being from Cupertino and using firewire cables, all kinds of firewire cables, firewire, and live off the land and the city or the country. And then, I went to a presentation the other day and they started talking sprouts, and, I've been studying sprouts for years and years. Of course you need to learn about sprouts because it increases the nutrition of food tremendously. But, okay, let's come back to 2011. Of course there's going to be a global food shortage. It's not for want of resources, it's a political problem. There's plenty of land, there is plenty of water, there's a lot of waste, and with wars are going to be what disrupt this whole food chain. Wars. And of course the contrived energy crisis. For those that are really deep into it, this heavy winter and wet spring, very few of you will know what I'm talking about, fulfills a major prophecy that talks about a famine. And that's why I bought a bunch of this book here, The White Horse Prophecy, from the publisher, because what I'm going to do is like a DVD book combination and sell it, because it just cuts to the chase, for those that really want to get to it. I know it just some people are completely on the atheist agnostic side, and that's fine. You can just look at the numbers, but things that are happening now are biblical proportions, and why not use inside information from the man above? That's the ultimate source to come to an accurate conclusion of what's going to happen. It's using inside information from the source, no matter what you call it, plus your financial acumen, no matter wherever you've gained it, whether it's watching CNBC, or whether you study economics, or whether it's a gut feeling, or whether you're watching the economy crater where you are, or whether you go down and buy gas like I did today, and just like, oh my gosh, it's almost $4 a gallon here in Utah. It's like, whoa. It's like I got to go find a Maverick or something. I'm not going to fill up at Chevron. It's just getting kind of rough. It's costing a lot of money to fill up your gas tank, and it's going to get worse and worse. But everybody, keep your eye on the food shortage. I recommended wheat when I was holding those buckets and I was more buffed in the parking lot. Was that a couple years ago? Still, here, I guess you can in a lot of places, but you can go down to Walmart and buy like 20 pounds of wheat, and it's like, I don't know, it's like a super good price. You can walk out with these little buckets right now, which will be worth more than gold or a Ferrari 3.5, 4 years from now. So, stock up on your food storage. If you're all piled into silver, which is amazing, 42, 43 bucks an ounce, amazing. If you're piled into silver and gold, you definitely need to have your food storage. And discrete food storage, and learn about sprouting, etc., etc. So, on the food thing, bottom line is, yeah, I know I'm ahead of the curve 2, 3, 4, 5 years. But now that the mainstream media, and even Mr. Kramer, is talking about food shortages, it's becoming mainstream knowledge. Really, I really think a year from now it will be hard to get food, and really 3 years from now, it'll take more than 1 ounce of gold. 3 years from now, 3 to 4 years from now. I'm estimating, because I'm putting a lot of things together here, obviously in an unconventional way, but I would say 3.5 to 4 years from now, maybe 5, maybe sooner. This is event driven. I don't think you will be able to buy a bucket of wheat with a gold coin, which the gold coin will be up to, 3, 4, 5,000 by then. So you won't be able to buy a bucket of wheat for $3,000 or $4,000. So what's the obvious thing to do? Store your wheat now. Wheat will store for 2,000 years in the dry tombs of Egypt. Keep it dry and in a good place, and in obviously an airtight bucket, and you'll be set. Get wheat now while you can. Okay? Ciao for now.